CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
The party's top job isn't the only one under a microscope in Victoria tonight. There's a showdown coming this weekend for BC Conservative leader John Cummins. Members of BC's third party will gather in Langley Saturday to vote on a leadership review. If a majority of members votes in favour, Cummins must step down immediately. And Conservative Party members will also vote this weekend for party president. The candidates in that race include people for and against Cummins staying in the leadership role. Well, Victoria Police are asking you tonight to keep an eye out for a stolen purse as the hunt continues for a man who mugged a woman in Saanich, clubbing her over the head. Police say the 24-year-old woman who was mugged on Quadra Street Sunday night was carrying a large purse in the exact same pattern as this one. It was a Cathy brand purse, blue and pink with purple flowers. Police say at the time of the attack, there were two men sitting at a bus stop across the street who saw the incident, and officers are hoping they or someone will come forward with more information.
After the police conducted an extensive search, they weren't able to locate either the weapon, the purse, or the suspect. We're asking for further assistance from the public today because we know directly across the street from where this occurred, there was two people sitting in the bus stop. They're described as late teens to early 20 males dressed in normal clothing who would have observed the majority of this incident, and we think they have important information that may provide us with assistance into identifying a suspect for this.
Once again, this is in the Quadra Street area near Finlayson. If you saw what happened, you're asked to call police. Investigators think the woman may have been followed for several blocks before she was attacked. If you know anything, call Vic PD, Saanich Police, or Crime Stoppers. Firefighters are crediting quick-thinking bystanders with preventing the city's train tracks from going up in smoke. They jumped into action after sparks from a freight train ignited dry grass along the trail, the rail bed that is. Fire crews were called to the scene after reports of nearly a dozen spot fires burning along the tracks. Crews gave the area a good soak and doused out the hot spots. Firefighters say before they got there, people nearby were doing their part, grabbing extinguishers and dousing the flames themselves.
The public helped us out tremendously with providing extinguishers, putting the fires out. Myself, we had attended 6 of the fires, and 5 of those, there was individuals with fire extinguishers. One of them was put out with 4 extinguishers, the other one with 3. So thank you very much for the public for helping us out.
Firefighters aren't exactly sure why the sparks were coming off the tracks or off the train. It was stopped by the time they were there. They say a locked train wheel may have caused the sparks, and the grass is extremely dry. Metro RCMP are thanking you tonight for helping officers identify an arson suspect. A 15-year-old boy was arrested this afternoon after somebody identified a suspect from surveillance video walking in front of Dunsmuir Middle School. RCMP say a fire was deliberately set on the roof of the school overnight Monday, and the smoldering blaze was found by staff in the morning before it could do damage. The youth has been released and will appear in court on December 19th. There's a new report out that calls for a 4th cruise ship berth at Ogden Point to be built as soon as possible. Our radio partner CFAX 1070 has obtained a copy of the report, which says cruise industry growth is being held back by the Ogden Point terminal's size and capacity. The Greater Victoria Harbour Authority wants a 4th berth that can handle the newer, larger cruise ships. And the report predicts that if Ogden Point adds that berth, cruise ship traffic could more than double, which would mean 1.1 million visitors annually in the next 25 years. The report also says cruise-related neighbourhood issues must be addressed and suggests water taxi service be instituted from Ogden Point to downtown and the inner harbour. Well, if you didn't have a newspaper on your doorstep this morning, you didn't have to go far or look far to find one. There were volunteers hawking copies of the Times Colonist on busy downtown street corners, all in support of literacy. Firefighters, police officers, athletes, and some celebrities sold copies of the special edition paper, all part of the Raise a Reader campaign. Proceeds go to school libraries and to programs that teach children and adults how to read in Greater Victoria. The Times Colonist says the event is a big success every year.
In Victoria in particular and on Vancouver Island, we've raised over $2 million, and all the money that we raise stays in our community. We raise anywhere between $20,000 to $25,000 just in the morning, like in the funds that are collected on the street, which is pretty remarkable. And the great thing too is that all the teams get kind of competitive about it, so they want to get out on their street corner as soon as possible and do whatever they can to collect a donation. And
No shortage of Vic PD's officers making like newsboys this morning. Raise a Reader has helped to raise more than $20 million over the last 11 years. The literacy programs reach all corners of the community. 180 volunteers in Victoria today. The tally now $40,000. Here throughout the tour, and we all know that very few of us go through life without being touched by cancer, and a co-worker from our radio partner CFAX 1070 would like to share an important message in her story with you tonight after she has been diagnosed with the disease. Corrine May undergoes surgery tomorrow to remove a cancerous lump from her breast, and Corrine wants to share her story with you tonight in the hope of raising awareness about the need for routine mammograms, even for someone with no history of cancer or with no symptoms. Corrine went for a routine mammogram and expected it would be just that, routine. Instead, she learned that she has breast cancer and she needs treatment immediately. She says her prognosis is good, but the case serves as a warning to others that general good health doesn't mean that cancer won't touch your life.
I figure that if I can help people realize how important early detection is, whether it's for breast cancer or prostate cancer, anything like that, you know, you have to go for your testing, and early detection, you know, that's the best way that you'll be able to treat the disease.
Following the surgery tomorrow, Corrine undergoes 5 weeks of radiation and intends to make a full recovery and get back to work, and our thoughts and prayers are with her, and we'll follow her story for you as well. A Royal Canadian Navy frigate that left CFB Esquimalt in July has now come to the rescue of a stranded vessel off the coast of Yemen. A helicopter spotted a boat with crew members frantically waving from the dock. Only half an hour away, the Regina responded and sent crew members to the small boat that had run out of fuel and food. The frigate was able to maneuver, secured the bow of the ship, and gave the crew the supplies it needed. The commanding officer of HMCS Regina says helping local mariners shows our Navy cares, helps to build relationships, and help make missions a success. He says people feel comfortable providing officers with invaluable information that then helps them track down illicit activities in the area. Regina is part of the operation taking part in maritime security and counter-terrorism with the multinational combined task force. And as the tour team gets ready for that 1,000-kilometer trek, communities up and down the island are coming together to support the Tour de Rock as they do every year and to add to the fundraising goal. Volunteers were giving it their all on stationary bikes today for the 8th annual Cops for Cancer Spin-a-thon. This was at the Esquimalt Plaza. The TDR riders say without the community support up and down the island, they couldn't make a difference in children's lives.
For people to be able to take the time and come out and support all the riders, it means a lot to us, and it definitely gets us over those humps, so that's the big thing. I think the big thing was getting the opportunity to physically go and see Camp Good Times and see all the, we're sprinting, see, you know, what sort of treatment the kids are getting and how they're getting the opportunity to have a real summer and, you know, essentially be kids, and I think that's what it's all about.
The tour team travels north Saturday. They hit the road on their bikes Sunday in Port Alice. Schools in the capital region are being recognized for their high rate of recycling. They're the best in BC. More than 27 Victoria area elementary and secondary schools have topped the province's green list. The average Victoria school recycles about 470,000 beverage containers a year instead of sending them to the landfill. They're helping the environment and the education budget. Last year, schools in the capital region cashed in more than $33,000 in deposit refunds for their schools. Firefighters are investigating after an abandoned house in Nanaimo turned into a burning inferno. Investigators were scouring through the burnt debris today looking for clues as to what might have started this fire on Northfield Road. Fire crews were called to the abandoned home at about 11 o'clock last night with thick plumes of smoke billowing from it. When the first fire crews arrived, the house was fully engulfed, flames licking up the side of the house.
Yeah, investigation right now is still ongoing. I'm still trying to rule out issues. There was power to the house. We do know that the house has been frequented by homeless people in the past. The house has been vacant that we know of for the last 9 months, 10 months for sure.
Firefighters say the neighbors have spotted squatters coming and going from the property over the past few days. RCMP in the Harbour City are asking for your help tonight after a pair of sticky fingers swiped several donated service medals from St. John Ambulance in Nanaimo. RCMP say the medals were in a shadow box that was sitting in the Nanaimo office, which is open to the public. Employees are not sure when the items disappeared. The medals were donated by the family of the late Major Charlie Whiskers, who was a long-serving member of the Canadian Forces Reservist Program and St. John Ambulance. RCMP say these items hold a great deal of sentimental value.
These medals were donated by now deceased Major Charles Whisker, his family. A number of distinguished medals for his service to the Canadian Scottish Regiment and also with the St. John Ambulance Service. So we're hoping somebody who has information will contact the police or let us know where these medals are.
The medals include the Order of St. John Ambulance, which is a white cross with a black ribbon, which was presented to Major Whiskers. Also the Military Long Service Medal and a Queen Elizabeth Golden Jubilee Medal. If you have any information regarding the missing medals, you're asked to contact Crime Stoppers or Nanaimo RCMP.